Yo, what's up, everybody? I think we go on a journey today because Beetle dropped some awesome threads. I think they're worth looking through, discussing, reviewing, and then comparing to, what Dot Swoosh announced today because it's pretty epic to see them activate in this way. Finally, working to tell my iPad how to play music again, because it keeps onboarding me and welcoming me back. And I never left. So we'll see. Re-enter new. This is wild. Gonna get through this. It's gonna be better. We're gonna make it, everybody. It's gonna happen. And after this brief advertisement, hit it. Yeah. I still love that one. Super hype. Pressure making diamonds. Kind of what it's all about, because we've all been through the pressure, and I think we understand what the diamond is, / what it could become, / what it will become. Most of the time, anyway. So, yeah, I was really just thinking we'd go through Beatles threads because they look sweet. Recap what hit on Dot Swoosh earlier today, because that was fun. Really a good vibe. So I'm just doing a Twitter thing. I let the Blade Gang know I would send the space to everything, but I don't want to send spaces to too many places, because probably I'll get that. But yeah, so I'm just going to start at Probably the first one. But Beetle also has the pre-Nike drops, which is kind of sweet, and that's 6 hours ago. But this first one is a comprehensive list of artifact drops from custom sneakers to Nike and CloneX, from monolith excitement to angry mobs. What was, what is, and what could come from Artifact, an opinion piece, which is pretty sweet. Big fan. Prez, I'm going to try and jump in your space pod too. If I can figure that out, I'm pretty sure I can. It's just an idea I just got. Because we got the VRM files, we might as well kick it digitally. Just gotta find where my is saved. I can be Tiny Jack too, that's okay. Yeah, so there was a party on Friday, and we had a blast digitally. Pretty sure it was probably great in the physical space too, but I definitely enjoyed the digital. I'm just actively trying to join Prez's space pod. It's in the comments on the bottom right. One day, Prez, this stuff's just going to auto-load. It's going to be so much easier for a lot of us. It might be in, actually. It did auto-load, and it was so much easier. Let's go. Okay. I got myself on Prez's pod. What up, Prez?
Yeah, what's good?
How you been?
All right, how about yourself? Happy Monday.
Yeah.
Happy Monday to everybody here in attendance. Big shout out.
Happy Monday. Prez and I are just standing in the pod waving all new entrants to the pod, welcoming them into the digital space.
There you are. Yeah, you gotta scale up your avatar there, big guy.
Oh, I know. You mean little guy. Yeah, so Liv Tovin actually made the VRM for me, and was able to pull the Vision jacket in and then uh, incorporate the custom traits that I've kind of made them in Clone Tools. So this is the Hyperfy one just because I have it already downloaded on my computer. The other one I have to go and create or just download, and I just haven't done that yet or set it up on OnCyber, so I'll just be mini-me for a little bit.
Yeah, pretty sweet. I can't believe this day is finally here.
Dude, it's pretty cool. Just from the point of we're standing in OnCyber in personalized digital avatars and talking on spaces. Bro, you got the Air Force One kicks on?
Yes,
You
sir.
got all. Yeah, you do. You got two. Dude, are those the DNAs?
Yep, those are the MDMAs. Let me see if I can join you in your small scaling here. I think I have the. All right, here we go. This works.
Nice, dude. The chibi.
We're now officially matching.
Yeah, people are gonna be like, "What's wrong? Am I just the big one?" Or metaverse. Great. It is kind of crazy though, Prez, because space pods, those were over a year ago now. Loot pods, maybe a year and 2 months or so, and now here we are. We're standing in the pod, bro, digitally with our avatars, hanging out. And if anybody else wants to join Prez's Space Loot Pod, is fully open and available. Even as
It's been a
it's
long
cool.
time coming, man. I remember when, like the first time they dropped pods to us, and like I guess that's probably my first experience with OnCyber. And if you remember, it was like really, really rudimentary back then. You didn't even have an avatar. I think you were just locked in like a third person or first person view. I think later they introduced like the floating coin PFP thing. And then just like last week or so, they introduced first like universal 3D avatars, and then like VRMs came like a week later. So it's been like a long time coming. And I just remember like, you know, taking the pod for the first test drive and thinking, oh my God, I can't wait till we, we can all upload our clones in here, show up in 3D. The voice chat stuff in there is pretty good. I guess I'm waiting for the day that we stop using Twitter Spaces as much. I mean, that's probably never going to happen, but I just feel like maybe a natural evolution to the current Twitter Space Hangout format might be one where we go hang out in the on cyber voice chat instead, and at least we get to like walk around in our avatars while we're kicking it.
That's why I really like and appreciate that you stream spaces into pods to connect those two worlds and really bring about, that dream, that vision, Prez, because you're actively taking the steps to make it happen by giving us a space. We got Tevi in here too. Tevi's kicking it. Um, I know you got the model you got right now, Tevi, because the Mac OS is not supported actively. I did see a tweet though that Beb is actively working on VRM integration for Mac, so that they can get that out as a step for the clone tools that has been rolled out. So that's an exciting thing for everybody. Mayo, what up, dude? We are 3D files in on cyber in our pods, well, in Prez's pod. It's here, bro. It's happening and it's real. We can all do it, which is fun and exciting. And it's like, we were thinking about this day, and now it's like it's here, y'all. So let's try and like maybe boost the usage of it, because now we have the ability to gather in these spaces, and it's like sweet, yeah, we could do that. But then it's like, yeah, but I got to build like a file and like, kind of like get it to work and stuff. And it's like, yeah, just download your files, download clone tools. Like, go to a space, ask people about it, come to this space, ask us about it. I've used it. Prez has used it. Wayne is like a core creator on it. I mean, we have people here who well understand clone tools. What up, Prez?
I just wanted to shout out everybody at OnCyber, but also Artifact that kind of made this come together. Big shout out to Artifact, especially Beb, and they had the CloneX NYC thing, right? And they had that whole virtual experience, the world merging party that they threw. A lot of that was like, it seems like Artifact kind of came through in the clutch and gave us like a lot of functionality just in time for that event. Like if we had like, just a like 2 week prior functionality, we wouldn't have had like the same kind of experience. So the fact that the VRMs, the tutorials, the converter, Clone Tools 2.0, it all came out in the last couple of weeks just in time for the NYC event. And like everybody was like, it just seemed like, they're kind of catering to what the guys, especially the NYC thing, was doing. So like big shout outs to them. You came through just in time. It made that whole event so much doper.
Dude, the event was cool, and it was fun to see different people show up in different, avatars. It's like, what suit are you wearing to the party tonight? Oh, dude, what skin are you gonna wear? Oh, I got this one. I got this one. I'm gonna put this one on. It is fun because it's just a different take and a different way for us to, kind of live that vision, so to speak. Be the vision, all that good stuff. And I think, shout out to Liv Toven for the assistance on Gem and my file. That was super clutch, Liv. I know I was hyping that on Friday. I'm probably never going to stop hyping it because I appreciated it. And it's all about the community coming together to uh, boost everyone's general experience, because Like, not everyone knows how to do everything, and sometimes you just can't due to whatever is going on. But I think it is really fun, because like Prez is streaming the space and hosting it in the pod, and then like he sets all that up. You know what I mean? So he does that for many different spaces, and spends his time on it. Hello, Tevi. I see your hello in the chat. Just acknowledging that across platforms because we have the ability to do so. So if anyone's wondering what we're doing right now, Tevi, Prez, and I are chilling in Prez's loot pod, and he's pinned it, or I guess it's on here as a comment. I'll pin it up top too, so that anyone who wants to access that can. It's just a fun way to, combine worlds here, and it's like I would love to make a Clonespiracy loot pod skin. I just have not put the time into determining how you actually skin a loot pod. But I remember that there was so many like videos out there early on, so I just got to find them.
Yeah, and if anybody hasn't done it yet, I encourage you go download Clone Tools and that VRM converter tool. It's actually easier to probably generate the VRM than it is even like a render. Like it's so easy, and yeah, Artifact Creators dropped a couple of tutorials that like really walk you through it. Nobody should feel intimidated. Should really, even if you're new to it, probably ain't going to take you more than 15 minutes to start Blender and export your clone to this VRM format. And then you can have it in your back pocket ready for on cyber anytime. It's like, yeah, so I can't, my hat's off to the team, man. They really came through with the Clone Tools 2.0 update.
Yo, we
And the
got to.
tutorials. I don't think anyone's given enough credit. There's a lot of effort that goes into like documenting and kind of doing these tutorials too. It's one thing if they just dropped Clone Tools on us. They had like the tutorials kind of coming out at the same time. Please, guys, check out the tutorials. They work so good.
Prez, on that note, the clone converter did not load for me when I was following the tutorial, and then that's kind of the step I got to and then blocked out. So I don't know if I downloaded it wrong, but I probably uninstalled and reinstalled everything uh, multiple times. And I'm not sure if it's like should I be? I don't know if you know this either, but should I be deleting Clone Tools 1 and then like resetting Blender or something and then downloading Clone Tools 2, or do I just download like 3.2 and then re-download everything from Clone Tools 2?
I would probably start with like a fresh install of Blender 3.2 and then add Clone Tools 2.0 to that, and then add VRM tools to that as an add-on. So just kind of start with like a brand new install. If you, I have helped a lot of people troubleshoot like little problems here and there in Blender and Clone Tools. I kind of figured out most of the bugs. It's not really that common, so again, nobody should feel intimidated. But if you are having issues with Clone Tools 2.0, just shoot me a DM or the VRM converter or any Blender questions. Shoot me a DM. I'll respond to you pretty quickly and help walk you through any problems you might be having with Blender, at least when it comes to like the basic install and setup.
Super clutch. Thank you, Prez. We'll take you up on that. That's pretty fun. I also love how you've dripped out your pod, man. It is a very good pod. I think it's fun. So, what up, Hemi? GM, I think, for you.
Big GM from Australia. Yes, 10:30 here, almost, in Melbourne. Just tuning in. Thought I'd come up and say hi before I gotta come up and say bye. But yeah, love tuning into one of the top 5 crypto spaces on Twitter. How you guys doing?
Hemi, are you eating garlic out the clove
I
again?
just put a chewy in my mouth, but I ate 2 of them, so I'm just trying to get through that threshold of chewing them until they're. I sound like a horse or something, don't I? Good to hear you, Prez. You're building, like really building, not fake building.
I was just kind of going with the ASMR approach on that one, Hemi. Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna just go back to where I thought we were gonna go, and then we went on this whole stretch about clone tools, which is awesome, and this whole kick into Prez's pod, which is also awesome. So I'm gonna move on from that. So Beetle tweeted two pretty cool threads out, and what I was thinking we could talk about tonight anyway was talk about the comprehensive overview of artifact drops, and then the pre-Nike drops and strategic direction that artifact has gone in, kind of using Beatles threads as a discussion roadmap, if you will, and then tie that into the dot swoosh announcement that took over at least the second half of my day. I was for about 3 hours because I was reading press releases and talking on Twitter, which that was great. So, for it, if you want to go a different direction, speak up. So let's just do his pre Nike drops and strategic direction. Again, this is Beatles like opinions mixed with facts. I haven't read it all yet. I was kind of excited to read it, so I was gonna wait for this space. So I just tapped on the second from the far right pinned tweet and just gonna go through that. So he's looked at artifacts early drops in 2020 and 2021, and there's three consistent themes: showcasing customized kicks, collabs, start small, dream big. And if you've been attending these spaces, you know that we dream big. Sometimes don't start so small. So only two of these ever exist, and one was sent to Elon Musk, and the other was sold for 30 ETH on Super Rare, and that is the Artifact Cyber Sneaker, which is actually funny that they sent that to Elon Musk. If they really did, I'm going to take Beatle's word on that. And then it's pretty cool that they sold the other one um, for 30 ETH because it's obviously a lot of ETH. This next sneaker is like one of my personal favorites, like ever. It's wonder if they have the name, the X Evolution Metagrail auction. So this was a live skin that would update on this shoe as higher bids were placed on it. So then Whale Shark won it for 22 ETH. And at the time, 22 ETH was 13 grand, which is like pretty cool, for a digital sneaker like that. I guess it has a physical too. To sell for 13,000. That was back in 2020. So it's like then you kind of look at what 22 ETH turned into a year later. It's all shocking. This space is wild. But like, consistently builders will continue building, and I mean Artifact's quality, it was there day one, and I would say that they're doing it at scale now because they're not just selling two sneakers anymore. They're selling an entire apparel line with matching physicals and global shipping. That's a lot. So then Artifact did an ode to PS5, which is pretty cool. Three founders love gaming. PlayStation is, the most pure form of console gaming, I would say. I did not know that they did a Doge slipper. Can anyone give me some emojis if you like knew that Artifact dropped a Doge slipper? Because I had no concept. Nobody knew. Nobody knew there was a Doge slipper. That's hilarious. Okay.
I can't say I've seen that, and I think it's kind of cool how the animation has it kind of like winking at you and kind of twinkling its nose. I also think it looks like a Twinkie. Am I crazy? Does that not look like a Twinkie from the back and the side spinning around?
Dude, it totally does. Especially when you see its butt. You're like, yo, that's a Twinkie with a tail. And then it turns around and it's a Doge slipper, dude.
It's a one of one, eh?
How do we go find that thing, Prez?
I don't know. Maybe click that super rare link in that tweet.
Yeah, that might be a good start. That's pretty fun though. No highs, no lows, only Doge. That was in 221, so that was 9 months before CloneX. It's kind of fun to see a lot of this stuff because a lot of people kind of came in at CloneX, but there's so much history prior to. So then the next one up is Cool One launched to commemorate the year of the ox, which is also sweet. It's like a gilded ox, high top. I would rock that 101. It's like,
I was gonna say that looks like got some serious Chinese New Year vibes. And you're right. Yeah, it is the year of the ox.
yeah, it's sweet. It's like, I wonder, dude, do you think that these sneakers, these one of ones or two of twos, like these are pretty difficult and like people don't even know about them, obviously. Do you think that things like this will make a resurgence when they drop the inventory app?
Man, I don't know how much I want to comment on this. I think this is gonna be a bit of a sore spot. I feel like some chapter one stuff isn't really gonna see I'm not going to see a rebirth, I think, in the inventory app, but maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. It'd be cool if stuff like this or like the more obscure drops of theirs from the past do make it into the inventory app as well and become like equipables.
I agree. 110%.
Did you say you?
I think that the
Oh, sorry. Did you say you do see season one? Or you don't see season one?
No, season one is one thing, but there's like chapter one, like the stuff that he's reviewing right now. These are like the early drops from Artifact, like prior to the Nike acquisition. And I feel like some of these are just a little obscure and not something that even if you own one of these rare pieces, not something I would necessarily expect to appear in the inventory app, but I don't know, that's just my impression of it. Maybe people holding some of these assets might be upset to hear that, so I'm trying not to over speculate here.
I personally think that they should go into inventory. Will they or not? I don't know. Because I could see it being a pre Nike thing and a post Nike thing, and it's like, but I I think it'd be really cool. I think everybody would think it would be really cool.
Yeah, I mean they could.
At
So
least give us the 3D files.
Yeah, they could surely put it into 3D, and like different things have different utility. So if it's prehistoric type of thing, like the Doge slippers, they're just a rare item, like not much utility. It's still in the inventory. Yeah, sure that's possible, right? Like I'd love to see that Luxo and Artifact.
It's definitely
Yeah,
definitely possible, and I think when and if they revisit that, it's gonna blow some minds. I think it'd be awesome to see some of these examples appear in people's inventory.
sheesh, man, Doge X Artifact. I don't even know about that. I thought I knew most of the sneakers. That's crazy.
yeah, you could even say Doge X Elon though with that analogy, because if you mention Doge, it's a meme. But yeah, the whole point of the coin is it's a meme, I guess. But it's cool. I love the sneakers, and I hope that they make it into the new app. But I guess I could kind of see, maybe some of the concerns with, putting Atari and putting Doge and PlayStation logos into inventory. Unsure if that would be fine or not, but in theory, it's cool. So then it says, besides partnering with Atari, this drop also featured designs by Blender DAC, Vision of Vi, and MGXS, which is pretty cool. I didn't know that this Atari sneaker was actually like a collaboration with Atari. Um, that's neat. I thought it was just a concept sneaker. So maybe that one could make it into inventory if it's like a, signed and sealed partnership kind of thing. And yo, Artifact used to do 420 giveaways. Bring that Artifact back, though. So these were super limited designs gifted to the lucky few who also received physical sneakers. They did a Crypto Kush and Meta Haze. Meta Days? I did not know that they made physical 420 celebratory sneakers. That is wild. Did you guys know this?
Honestly, I didn't. A lot of these are new to me, but somebody airdropped me an ounce of that.
Just an ounce, Prez?
I mean, there's 2 examples here, so maybe 2 ounces.
That's the attitude, sir. We got a holiday coming up. So, next one up, the virtual sneakers airdrop to those who won the high snobiety hoverboard auction. The campaign played around the lore of the Eiffel Tower being invaded by aliens. Aliens, question mark. Sound familiar? Sounds very familiar because there's an entire DNA class built around aliens.
But hold on, how does it connect to Paris and Eiffel Tower? Is this a reference to something else? Is there like a movie that relates to aliens invading France?
No, I think they made that up because this was like a collab with High Snobiety and hoverboards. And I feel like High Snobiety, I don't know, are they from Paris? Is the Eiffel Tower like a thing? Because like Artifact made that like trophy looking Eiffel Tower too. It's an artifact, but it's doesn't do anything currently.
Well, now that I think about it, this would have been before the CloneX collection came to be, so this might be hinting at the forthcoming aliens featured in CloneX collection.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, this is from a different time. Like this is pre-Clone X, so maybe we could look at ways that, this vision has been brought to life via Clone X. That could be an interesting take on this review as well. So then the next one is these were extremely hard to cop, sold out in 2 minutes. No forging has been done or confirmed. Our TikTok exclusive NFT, the ETH High sneaker. That's pretty cool. 50 pairs only, 0.15 ETH, first come, first serve. That's dope. So then Beetle goes on to say, from these small and super exclusive drops, you could see that there was a lot of experimenting, styles of drop, the different platform pricing structure, etc. These then led them to later release the Punk Project and Space Drip collections on their own website. So those must have been the first times they made a website. So there could technically be as much as 10,000 Punk sneakers, although the final supply was just 245. This also showcases the permissionless nature of blockchain and NFTs. So they even say Artifact Punk ID over Nike ID, which is a spicy statement to make when you're about to be acquired by Nike in 18 months, if they even knew that. Then they did the Fuo drop. It was a 7-minute long open edition done on Nifty Gateway, and the final number was in the hundreds across the 3 designs, significantly more than the previous drops. I didn't know that the Fuo drop was open edition. I thought that it actually had a cap on it. Do you remember, Prez?
No, can't say that I do.
Yeah, I don't either. Hemi, were you following back then?
Sorry, which ones? Which shoes?
The Fuo drop, when they did that live drop in 2021?
No, I don't think. When's Clones? Clones is 2021, yeah?
Yeah, clones are November 2021, though. This was February 2021.
Nah, I wasn't. I was, Nah, no, I wasn't. Sorry, no.
No, I wasn't either.
It was only open for 7 minutes, so how many sales can you really fit in 7 minutes? I guess it had a somewhat of a cap.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I just remember though, because my brother actually he bought those shoes not at the drop. He got them on secondary, which was like, what? You just did what? That whole shock moment. But next up, We have the Epic Drop featured a one-of-one Meta Pigeon. Sobe Life actually got the Meta Pigeon boss that was collected by Sobe Life. So then the Meta Pigeon, that was the NFT price, $1, editions 100. That Meta Pigeon then continued on to provide 3 CloneX vials to anyone who held it, which is like a grail item if you look at the journey that thing would have taken you on back then without even knowing it. And it's like, that's kind of what I have to remember in this space is you never really know where half this stuff's going to go. It might be a Meta Pigeon. It might be a Monolith 2. Said it. Space Drip was significant because it introduced the gotcha mechanism, which was later used for CloneX. All the designs were also given an overhaul after the Nike acquisition, and the first of the Air Force Ones that feature the blade and the swoosh. I don't know what a gotcha mechanism is. Is that where you had to reveal your Space Drip shoe that was in the box to figure out what it looked like? Yeah, I don't know. If anybody in the audience knows what a gotcha mechanism is, I'm curious because with the Our Force One drop, you purchase a shoebox and then you open it and it reveals randomly what you get. That might be what the gotcha is. Gotcha. I'm gonna Google it.
That's what I think it is, because CloneX introduced files that you had to kind of manually open to reveal what you get. So that's maybe what happened here.
Okay. Yeah, it is. It is a mechanism where you roll to receive a random item. So then Beetle says, not every NFT came forgeable, but you can see the extent of collabs and how Artifact burst in artists, brands, and collectors into the space. Even these jeans are dope. Who Decides War, Artifact X, Murder, Bravado. 2 unique auctions on Super Rare. Dopest jeans coming to the metaverse and IRL. Wow. So they made jeans. I also didn't know that they made jeans.
I think this is cool. I wasn't aware of this either, but what I see in this is like an early concept of what became season 1, right? Because the one on the left is what you'd call the robot genes, and the one on the right looks like human or angel genes, maybe. Um, so this is kind of what they did with season 1. What do you think? You see what I'm saying here?
Dude, totally. I can see how those jeans are definitely robot level, and the other ones they look human and angel. And the left ones almost look robot and demon-y. Could have been just playing with styles, trying to figure it out, or not. I don't know, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
Maybe season 2 is going to feature jeans. What do you think?
I was kind of shocked that season 1 all the pants were the same, more or less. Personally, I think custom jeans would have been dope, but they bit off a lot on season 1, and
No kidding.
they're still chewing it. That's for sure. Yeah, I'm wondering about the update on, hey, this is shipping, but we will get that eventually, I guess. So yeah, that's kind of the end of Beatles thread of one of one that kind of hits on the back end. It's fun to see the dawn of drip. J. Ryan Porter, if you know him, if you remember him, he said it's good to see what attracted me initially again. Nike has made things different, but let's see how it all comes together. Personally, think Nike kind of scrapped those early collections, benefiting from the ecosystem, which is lame, but at least we got clones for holding. I I see what Jay Ryan's saying there. Jay Ryan was a fun dude who is less active these days, but still around.
Sorry, I was cutting out. Did you mention those Luxo collab?
No, Beetle didn't touch on any of the dematerialized items. That would have been cool though to include those on here, because those are like not so distant and kind of interesting. I'd love to see those if still supported, but I think those are some of the coolest items personally. It'd be cool to put those into a thread, honestly, and like just call out the non-Ethereum items that are out there. Because there's what are those other ones too, Hemi? The Decentraland jackets. I think those are Polygon NFTs that were given away in Discord or something.
I can't. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. There was a few. The artifact gear was actually pricey. I'm pretty sure, man. Like, if I'm not mistaken, a couple, like 5 figures. Were they, or am I tripping out for that artifact deluxe collab? The 1-on-1s too.
Oh, I got no idea what those started at. Yeah, no clue. I was not paying attention at that point in time.
Yeah, neither was I, man. It's too late. All I know is the earrings. That's all I know. But we're talking about the sneakers.
Yeah, that's fair. So that's kind of Beetle's first thing, which I actually really enjoyed that thread. I'm going to send him some props on that. However you send props, maybe just a DM or a nice comment or a retweet. So a comprehensive thread of artifact drops from custom sneakers to Nike and CloneX, from monolith excitement to angry mobs, what was, what is, and what could come from artifact. An opinion piece. This is the first tweet on the far right from Beetle. Really just going through, kind of seeing if it sparks anything between me, Chris, Hemi, and anyone else in the space. If it does, let us know what you think. It is an open space. And then we're going to go into the hour 41. I think kind of what's going on with that. I'm going to drink some water. Boost my Zen. And continue. So Beetle says this will be an ongoing thread. I imagine it to be like writing a mini book in real time over the next couple of weeks. I'll add the following to this thread: artifacts, pre-Nike drops, strategic direction, sneaker culture, street fashion, and the influence of Murakami. Beetle's popping off. This is like going to be a dense thread that he's going to work on for weeks. All right. Merging worlds, what blockchain provenance means for kicks and identities. Artifact, cop, or flop, looking back at the 2022 drops. That's fantastic. Beyond sneakers, clone hibernation, egg incubation, inventory, and virtual worlds. Item 6, the creator economy, what could come from clone IP and what it means for non-creators. 7, more on artifact history, how things came together and the consistent themes. My biased long-term perspective on artifact. He just says it as it is. If you want the spoilers, I have a good chunk of content written here. The most exhaustive record of artifact drops. Yeah, I'm clicking that link and going to Mirror. I had originally planned to do this in a summary thread, but heck, I should experiment with a new format of publishing, which I think is a great format of publishing, honestly. I'm aware that many have lost faith with CloneX, and I'm not trying to convince you otherwise. This is just me taking a step back to present things as if it is, as it is. Take it for what it's worth and decide for yourself. Now to go into the first part. So that's a good preface on what journey we're about to go on. Beetle has set the stage. Pre-Nike drops and strategic direction. Throughout looking at their earlier drops, you'll see Artifact is really good at creating custom kicks and have brought many artists, brands, and collectors into the ecosystem, which that's the thread we just referenced. In case anybody is wondering what that one was, that's pinned there. I think we actually just went through item 1. That's fantastic. I didn't know if he had like actual, 8 additional points he was going to make threads on this singular thread. That would be so much work, but pretty great at the same time. I'm going to go on that Mirror website and just click on it because I'm genuinely curious. I'm just checking to see if he put everything on here. Earliest drops, pre-Nike collection, Artifact in review, 2021 and 2022. Wow. It's all on here, everybody. This is the grail of Artifact information. Jem, we got to link this, by the way. This is fire. Got a props to Beetle and link this Legends work because, wow, he did it. I'm just kind of exploring. I like what I'm seeing. I recommend the people check it out as the people can. Could only be a good thing. But yeah, that's kind of what we got from Beatles threads, though. I think that there's more out there. We'll just have to kind of go through those as we do. Ben Y actually just tweeted something, which is pretty crazy. Get ready for Dot Swoosh launch. Been a blast to work with Nike to bring to life the vision. Huge props to the Dot Swoosh team for getting all of this energy and creativity for Web 2 and Web 3 alike to kickstart a new era for Nike and the community worldwide. Thanks to the amazing render. It's Mars. I'm just checking out the render. It's sick. It's good. Looks nice. So, yep, Ben was excited about Dot Swoosh, which is good. As, in my opinion, he should be. Yo, Mayo, that helmet looks dope. I'm just checking out the details on it. I don't know. Yeah, and the Shima skin, nice, dude. So then I wanted to dive into really just what the Our Force One collection is, what they announced today. I got another thread pinned up top. It's in the middle. I feel like we've done a lot of threads though. If there's any questions or different directions or thoughts or things people have on Our Force One or any of that, jump up. I was talking on a community.swoosh space about it earlier today. I probably read every press release as well.
Maybe recap what today's Dot Swoosh update featured. Want to tell us about it?
Totally. Just chugging water to regain my voice. It's shocking how much talking can be done in a day. So the Our Force One, it got dropped today. The video is like absolutely stunning. If you haven't watched it, watch it, I guess. Old Soul, new story. The Our Force One collection features digital renditions of Air Force One's past, present, and future, built for the next generation. Nike's first ever virtual collection is inspired by the Air Force One Low, a classic style remixed hundreds of times since it dropped in '82. And look at, it's like they're digitalizing the skins that are on Air Force One sneakers, everyone. That's what this is. It is the basis of Crypto Kicks, Evo X, Skin Vial Tech, all of that. Like, that's the direction I think all of this stuff is going to head in. Maybe they don't get, maybe Dot Swoosh doesn't get Skin Vial Tech on Crypto Kicks, but they get customizable Air Force Ones, which is a step into that direction. And then people are going to say, yo, but like, can I mix this one with that one kind of thing? And like, that's where you get Evo X, and then the ability to own your asset, which is really what this is all about. So it's exciting. I think that's going to continue to build. I think Evo X is still around. We just haven't heard anything about it. So there's an absolutely really good moment in the Dot Swoosh video. I just saw it. I'm going to tap the video. Hopefully it doesn't wreck our audio. So check out second 47. Just look at second 47. What up, Prez?
Well, I was going to say something, but I don't want to derail what you're saying because I noticed that too. I was going to bring that up. There's like a robot. There's like a big, well, maybe not big mech, but it's like this mech-looking robot. Is that a hint at anything? What do you think?
Dude, I think the color scheme is identical to the Crypto Kick Genesis. And I think it's something. I definitely think it's something.
You know what, dude? I just went back a few frames to like 45 seconds, and you're right. It does begin before it transforms like a transformer. It kind of does look like a Genesis, like a Dunk Genesis a little bit. But you know what? That wouldn't make total sense. That's a Dunk. But maybe there's still something to be said about this Dunk-looking shoe turning into a robot. That gives me something new to speculate on.
I think it's probably an Air Force One that turns into a robot, but I mean, that could be in theory, Animus, or sorry, not Animus, but maybe Animus. It ties, so the Crypto Kick patents have the ability for sneakers to have personalities and to be used as pets. And like that robot, that mech, that could totally be, a pet, which I'm all for. I think it's pretty cool. Tabby, welcome to the stage.
What up? What up? How's everyone doing?
What up? Hype on Dot Swoosh. How about you?
Yeah, man. Like I thought it was a pretty good. It took me a while to catch up on everything, but I just kind of listening in, and the whole robot thing. I think it's just a call out to the whole gaming aspect of things, right? And let me go find what I'm referring to specifically. Let's see. Virtual shoes can also be worn in partnering video games. I think that's really all you need to know.
Tabby, you just jumped right to the golden part of the announcement.
Yeah, like I think at this point that's really all you need to know. Like the shoes, the 3D files that they're giving you. Obviously this is that swoosh, right? But that swoosh and clearly Artifact are working together, and it's like cross-pollinating here. So I think this kind of gives you like just a nice peering view into what's coming down the pipeline. And when we think about the line, like partnering video games, it's not a video game, it's video games with an S. So there's a bunch of games out there, like all the NBA games. I think even if you go back to some of the if you write the FAQs, there's like one slide that shows that the live experiences will be essentially, connecting with athletes and points to all that stuff, right? So I think clones, people who have the dot swoosh, the artifact community, all that it's building up to what we've all been speculating for over a year, or just about a year at this point. A lot of the, they hinted, or not even hinted, they clearly said this summer, right? That's when you start the mint. And then you go through the experiences, and oh, by the way, what's happening around May, June timeframe, CIRLs and real life events like IRL events are happening around that time. Uh, in a few weeks here, we're going to find out more about Animus. We know that Animus are wearing shoes, and now we have the dot swoosh stuff. We have the Forge next week. Like, again, if you step back and you think about just like how you build up to, whatever activation, it's all of these little things. They're all building blocks. And as we get to like these major milestones, then they're going to release more information and it's going to be right there, right? So what Artifact probably would have done in the past is they would have gotten on Twitter and hyped it up and dropped like little hints here and there. But instead, right now, they're being very strategic about it. And you can see that there's a coordination between Nike, the that swoosh effort, and what Artifact is doing, right? So they're not tripping over one another. It's almost like a synergy between the two brands and how they're bringing stuff to market. And that is very, when you think about strategic execution and how brands lead up to, again, major activations, like this is how you do that. This is marketing 101. Like it's on point. So I don't know. I was pretty excited to see the news and kind of go back and how everything was nicely laid out. And again, the timing makes perfect sense. Like you would release this now, then you have a couple of weeks from now, you're gonna, Animus gets to shine, and then after that, we go back to the boxes and minting those, and then after that, you have CIRLs, and in the mix, they'll sprinkle in some of the clothing, right? That's gonna start hitting people from season 1. So I don't know. I know like I don't sound hyped, but I am pretty excited about it, and I think this is what I wanted to see. And when we think about just rolling this out in a nice controlled manner, and tying up all the loose ends, this is happening in real time right now. So which is super cool.
It also kind of eliminates, you know, unrealistic loose ends too, because it's a coordinated press release across, 3 or 4 big things where you look at all of them, you get different pieces of information from all of them, and then you go on Twitter, you find people who know about this stuff, and then you find other places to organize this information, talk about this information, really dive into it. So yeah, I think that the drop today was fantastic. We had a community swoosh space earlier, and Luch Got You actually joined the space, and just thanked the people in the space for attending the space and for hosting it. And like, it was really cool, just to hear like one of the senior people, like the guy on Sneakers app, come into a Twitter space and like thank an ecosystem for supporting their effort. I mean, Dot Swoosh they're here for the grander community, and I really think that that's shining through. And I think we as people who are deeply interested in the artifact ecosystem, like we can do our best to educate and help people that find this space via through dot swoosh, that find artifact through dot swoosh, because it's starting and it's not going to stop, y'all. It's just going to ramp up. Rise Z, welcome. What's on your mind?
Hey boys and girls, how we doing? I just popped up quickly. You guys were talking about Our Force Ones, and Yob said something on the timeline that I thought was just like, that was it. He said, "It's quite simple. Dot Swoosh onboards and educates hundreds of thousands whilst providing super affordable digital assets. The ones that fall in love with the concept dig deeper and find artifacts as the luxury offering by the same corporation. The rest will be history." I thought that was dope. And it seems like artifacts like going towards the like collaboration side rather than like the in-house that Dot Swoosh is doing. Like, I don't know who designed their things, but yeah.
Yeah, I saw Yub's post too, and I think that's exactly right. Um, like for Artifact to be successful, they don't necessarily need the millions and millions of people, right? What they need is to provide, to innovate, and for some of that innovation to trickle down to what that swoosh is doing. And that swoosh is who's onboarding like the masses. Artifact just needs to keep pushing hardcore, at the forefront. Like think of it as the way I think about it, like is in car terms, right? Like you have Formula One's cars with the latest tech. It's only meant to go and go as fast as possible on a close course, and like you have the best drivers driving there. But eventually, some of that technology trickles down to your everyday car that the average person drives, and that's just how it runs. Artifact is that Formula One, and then that swoosh is going to be your regular consumer car, or even your sports car that has some of the tech but not all of it, and it's been toned down because you need real reliability and longevity, right? So to, I think Yubs is 100% right. Like people are they're gonna come in because they're gonna see that swoosh stuff, and it's more affordable. It looks good from what we can see right now. It's basically all these drops that are currently happening through the sneakers app and things like that. That slowly gets converted over time to that swoosh, right? And then, well, when they get in and and you get your 3D files for your shoes and you want to get creative and stuff, and now you're starting to dig a little deeper. Well, you're gonna need an avatar to wear those shoes in the metaverse, right? Well, who has that? Oh, that would be Artifact. Oh, and you might want a companion, well, okay, that's your animus. And and you wanted a home in a metaverse, or you want a spaceship. Well, that's your space pods and loot pods. So there's I think it's like the deeper you go, the more Artifact offers, right? And I think those people get converted over, and before you know it, and that's why the 20,000 animus, up to 40,000 is important, because not everybody's going to be able to get a clone, but you still need, a way for people to express themselves. And I think that's where the animus really come in. And I go back to what Chris had said during the NVIDIA piece, where he was like, yeah, people are going to come in with the animus, and they're going to be able to customize those, and create and make clothing, shoes, or whatever, and accessorize them. So I think it's pretty exciting. And again, Animus is just a code name. So we're going to find out in the I would say not too long from now, what the real name of the project is. And that's, I think, is going to surprise a lot of people. But beyond that, maybe the last point that I will make is the fact that, that swoosh keeps saying that, they Artifact is at the forefront, but there's opportunities for collaborations across both platforms, right? It's like but ultimately they're under the Nike umbrella. So whatever they're gonna do moving forward is going to be coordinated, and it's really gonna be interesting to see how they bring product to market. Um, and in what way do they leverage the community um, to get more creative, and because you can't keep, which Nike has been doing forever, right? Which is like remixing shoes and different colorways, and right now they allow you to go on their website and customize, which you have like the palette of colors, and you can customize your own Air Force One. But this is going to be taking it to the next level, right? Where people can design different things, but now you have the full access to all the materials, and people can get engaged. Um, but I think it's exciting. Obviously, I'm just kind of rambling at this point, but I think it's super exciting. I can't wait till the end of the month, and even more so next month, once we start, actually getting access to, for the lucky few, getting access to those R Force Ones, and what's the price point of those, and the more details on those experiences that they're talking about.
And
Because I think it's like artists, it's like athletes, and then culture. I think they call them culture influencers or something like that. That how they worded it, which was really cool.
And heavy on that, there's like 330,000 dot swoosh IDs or something like that, approximately. and they're airdropping 106,400 and I don't know 53 or something like that. Our Force One posters to give people access to it, and then if you receive a poster, then you pay the proper fee of $19, and I think it's 84 cents to receive your digital collectible, and then they airdrop it to your .swoosh ID, which is technically a BitGo or BitConnect or something like that, a custodial wallet. So there is no trading for the first part of this drop. So it's not going to have that massive spike in volume and that complete drop off of people pissed off saying win, win, win. It's just going to be this digital collectible that you hold, and then eventually there'll be a marketplace, which .swoosh will bring to market. And that'll be insanely exciting because it's like, I got to think they'll put an artifact tab on the Nike website or on the Nike marketplace, I would think. But like maybe that's when they activate Artifact and they announce Artifact, because like they haven't even announced Artifact anywhere. I mean, aside from the press releases early on, it's like people in Nike stores still don't know what Artifact is. And it's like maybe they know what .swoosh is. I haven't actually asked Nike employees if they know what .swoosh is, but they better. I legit ask them about Artifact and they never know. Like I have not met one. It's not like I do that daily or frequently or anything like that. It's just like kind of this mental check in on a very very small sample size.
Can you imagine though? Like I was doing the math as you were talking. If only 10% of that 100,000 drop in, that's 10,000 people, right? How many clones do you have? You have 20,000 clone. So again, as people trickle in from even that initial 300K, like anybody, like you get a portion of that 0.5%, 10% that make it over to Artifact and want to be part of this. Like it's the supply and the ability to get some of these clones drops significantly. And it's not like every single person has a clone, right? Like you have people who have like 2, 3, 5, 10, 30 clones. We know that the founders all have a decent amount of clones. So that supply, again, is not, it's not readily available. It may feel like right now, like, oh yeah, floor is down and all these different things, but there's not that many clones actually available for people to purchase. If everybody today raised their hands and said, yeah, we want a clone, like it's really hard to do that. Now, I think it's interesting, kind of going on that tangent. It's interesting that the founders all have a significant amount of clones. Like, what are they going to do with those, right? Once things start moving, like, do they reward them to people and collaborate with that swoosh and how does that crossover? I think to me that's the interesting part, right? Because now you're building the brand, you have to get the assets out there in one way, shape, or another. Or do you go the generic route where you say, you know what? Yeah, these, 100, 200 clones, no one can buy, but now they're like, just like Kings of CloneX, they're the generic clones for the community for anybody to use in, in games. Like those future games that they're talking about. Maybe that's what those become. And like people can use the generic ones versus, or if you don't have a clone, or you can, buy a clone if you can get one and go in game and play, I don't know, NBA 2K or whatever it might be. So I don't know. It's super exciting, and I feel like the vision is coming together, and now, a lot of people are gonna see what this is all about, including us.
I think it's also like it seems too coincidental that .swoosh drops this like literally 5 days before the 1 year anniversary of us opening the monoliths. Like I don't know. I'm a monolith maxi, so yeah, the 22nd, I believe, 2022 is when we open the monoliths. So I'm keen.
Yeah, no, I didn't even think about that. I think that's pretty cool. Like they and the other cool thing too is and I didn't know this, but I think when I was listening to back to the recording, or maybe I was reading through the thread for that swoosh, and the number, or like the date that they're dropping the dot swoosh stuff, there's like some historical significance behind it. So I think Rick, Risey, I think you're probably right. There's probably something with the dates that do matter, right? Like they're I don't know. I feel like that could be a thing, just because of that mentioned earlier today by that swoosh too.
Tevi, the historical significance is the price of the digital the digital Air Force One 1984, 83. Sorry to all my sneaker friends, I cannot remember the exact date or price. But luckily, it's pinned in a thread. 1982. So 1982 is the year that the Air Force One silhouette dropped, the very first one. So like that's how they picked $19.82, which at 106,000 supply, that's going to bring Nike at about $2 million into the Nike Virtual Studios dot swoosh effort, which that's going to more than pay for gas on Polygon. So it's going to be a huge win, I gotta say. I think anyway, for the team and for the corporation to see the value of supporting a growth or a growth, vertical like Nike Virtual Studios, and in turn Artifact, like all of this stuff being proven out at scale, and with Nike benefiting, at the end of the day it's a benefit for Artifact because it gives them, hopefully gives them the freedom to actually go what directions they want to, instead of whatever may have happened behind the scenes in 2022 with some of that stuff. So hopefully this plays out well. There's
Yeah,
a
I think it's
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Sorry, Jack. I was gonna say I think that's a really great point. Like the math behind it, right? Like from the revenue standpoint, and this is just a box, right? Like we're not talking yet about future shoes and how much they're selling them for, and all that stuff. So this is going to be a big revenue generator for Nike for that swoosh, and it's going to be palatable. Like people are going to look at these prices and not really. I mean, you think about $20 for a cool digital box, which is ultimately an allow list. Which, if you think about it, right, like you're in Web3, you would be like, oh, I'm getting finesse. Why do I have to pay for the mint for the whitelist? Like typically you don't pay for a whitelist, you just get it. Like it's airdropped, it's free. Here, you're getting the poster, which is airdropped, which then allows you, and correct me if I'm wrong, but then it allows you to buy the box, which is not free. But then you're still gonna have to pay at some point for the shoes inside, right? Is that right, Jack?
So the shoes, or you're paying $19.82 for the box, and then you can choose to reveal that box or not reveal the box. The choice is up to the collector, but you do not have to pay to reveal that box. So this is
Right.
literally a $20 digital collectible. It does not have any physicals, at least not at this point in time, and we don't know exactly what the total extent of the digital collectibles utility will be, but that's going to roll out and it's going to be crazy.
Okay, so that doesn't. Okay, so I was looking when I was seeing the shoes earlier. I was thinking that some of those shoes that they were showing us, the designs were inside the box, and then that box then allows you at a later date to actually quote unquote forge them for the physical, redeemable physical, which that I'm assuming is not going to be just $20. Like you're going to have to pay. Nike shoes are running like 100, $50 to $100 depending on what it is. So I'm assuming that some of these digital collectibles are going to be your pass for then the physical shoes if you want to redeem that. But maybe that's jumping too far ahead. But as I think about it, I'm like, that's genius. Like, but the prices are so low right now that it doesn't even feel like, I don't know. To me, anyways, I wouldn't be mad at it. It's like, oh yeah, I get a cool box. I get the 3D files that I'm going to be able to equip on my clone, like pretty much instantly, before that swoosh does anything or reveals anything more. I get these files, and then down the road, I can choose to forge or not, depending on how cool the shoe looks.
And that is
But no,
if they do a forge for the digitals to go to physical. But like one of the reasons you would want to open your box is there is a rarity tier system to the sneakers inside the box. There is a super rare one of one triple white Air Force One. Just there's only one pure white Air Force One out of 106,000. And then there's also tiered rarities. What do they call it? I'll have to find the press release, but it's something to do with dogs, like Doggy Woggy or something. And then like there is other ones too, and it's like this whole collection is going to be influenced from every single Air Force One that the community co-curated with Nike and the Dot Swoosh team via the Instagram polls and the sneakers app polls. So like this is a community forward thing that encompasses almost every single Air Force One in some way, shape, or form. And then the boxes are split into the past and the present slash future. So you get to, I don't know, I still can't tell if I get to pick future Air Force Ones or past Air Force Ones, or if it's going to be a random box and it's just 50-50 chance if you win it. And it's like the odds on this already are 100,000, 106,000 out of 330,000. So there's roughly a 33% chance. The way you guarantee yourself one of these airdrops, though, is by participating in the Our Force One contest, which happened, I think, 2-3 months ago via Instagram. I did participate. I'm super excited about that. And there's also like the in-person events. If you attend an in-person event, I think that's how I interpreted it anyway. If you attended an in-person event, then you're also guaranteed one, which is again super cool because then like you are attending these events in the physical space to learn about the digital space. I mean, that's merging worlds at its core. So those two ways you're guaranteed is how I understand it. And then if you just own a dot swoosh, you have that, roughly 30% chance to get a lucky email, I guess, tomorrow, and then have the opportunity to purchase a $20 digital collectible May 8th, which is that, or is it May 10th? Is it the same day that the artifact? It's like within 2 days when the artifact Air Force Ones finish forging and when the dot swoosh, the last day, or the public sale. Like all of this stuff is timed very close together. And I think it's meant to be this way.
yeah, I think you're right. Absolutely. The what was I gonna say? The classic versus the new H box, and I'm not getting the name right. But I think as you reveal, it's a random. It's gonna be random what you get from inside, but it just gave the date, the years that it covers. But yeah, once you open the box, it's pretty much at random at that point. And as far as the forge, I think it ends on May 8th. I think is the artifact forge is, I think it's on May 8th is when it ends. I'm trying to go back and find it. Where I know I had it somewhere, but maybe I have to go to their website. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I do think it's the 8th of May. So I think it runs exactly 2 weeks. Begins on the 24th, ends on the 8th of May, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, you're right, Prez. I just double confirm on the website how long will it run? April 24th to May 8th. So again, a lot of synergy here between that swoosh Nike and what Artifact is doing. So yeah, this is on point. I'm really liking this. Really, really liking this.
So just kind of continuing down that thread, I just took some cool quotes from the Sneaker News article. That one seemed to be pretty great. And we've hit on quite a few of these. The best, I don't know, arguably one of the best things also that's at that press release, it says, Our Force One can also open doors to future collections for other classic models with a rich history as the Air Force One. Our Max One, our Jordan One, the possibilities are really endless. And that is from an approved Nike press release. Like I checked with them that the article's legit. So like Sneaker News is a legit website that launched that announcement with Nike, and it's like they're basically dropping the hint. They're saying, "Yo, this is just Rev 1. This stuff's going to scale, fam. We know how well digital scales, and once you prove the concept, once you get the people excited about it, it's all coming." Like this is everything we've talked about for close to a year now, which is also pretty epic. Um,
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I've been saying, and a lot of people have been saying, right? Is this is the way the whole digital thing and NFTs, even though we don't want to call them that moving forward, probably that is how Nike is shifting their business model, right? Like being able to connect to the community, having access to, being able to better track their product, so authenticate on the blockchain. There's no better way to do it, and they're just taking out the friction out of the system to again allow their customer base to shift over to this new way of doing it. And then they're going to make it more interactive to get people more engaged, which ultimately leads to brand loyalty or maintains or reinforces it. And again, this is Air Maxes, our Air Forces have been around for 40 years now, and they're looking at the next 40 to 50 years. How do they stay relevant? This is how you do that. You augment and you engage and you find more innovative ways to connect with your consumer base. Make it fun. You bring younger people into the fold earlier on. They grow up to be adults, loving the brand, and you stay in business. So this is this is going to be pretty epic. And I know I keep saying this, but I cannot wait to see what Animus is about. And I wish we were at the end of the month to get more details on that. The eggs, how they connect to our clones, and and what is going to be the what is going to be the collapse between our Force Ones and Artifact? Like, what are they gonna do down the road that we don't know about? Like, is this gonna be their new? That's my son in the background going crazy. But is this gonna be like their new silhouette for shoes that they've talked about, that Artifact has hinted about? Do they collaborate with that swoosh and come up with a brand new silhouette? And it gets released across multiple platform, and there's different I don't know, man. I could go on. I could speculate forever, but that's what we're talking about. New way of doing business and shifting the business model and making it fun, like gamification and everything. So super exciting. Super, super exciting.
I agree. I Yes, this is so much what we've been looking forward to, and then like you combine it all. Like you're saying, Tevi, it's like we have houses, pets, a digital world, a solar system. I mean, once you see the power of what a digital ecosystem can bring and the ways it can connect a community, that's when you kind of start to be like, yo, what about this? What about that? It's like, yeah, they got that over at Artifact. Okay, check it out. It's like this is an onboarding funnel, maybe I'll call it, of you figure out who's really Web3 curious, who wants something beyond what dot swoosh ID can provide, and who wants to go explore what's out there. And it's like once you do, you can find an ecosystem of people ready to support. And I think that connecting with an audience at scale, it really requires the appropriate technology to enable that relationship to thrive. And like, we need good user experience and good user interface. And like, you know, we've all used ETH. It's clunky sometimes, and it can be expensive or difficult. But it, like, once you understand it, it's good. It works. But you know, the way that they're doing it with Polygon, it's completely hands off. You don't have to worry about it. So you just set up your Web2 account, what you think is Web2. It mints a wallet for you, or creates a wallet, mints an ID, ties that ID to that wallet, and boom, you have your swoosh ID. It's like, it is just applying the basic concepts that we all know and use literally every day, or once a week, or once a month, or whatever, and scaling it. Like, this isn't complicated tech in the background necessarily. It's just the push behind it to get the people to use it. It's pretty cool. So like, I'm big fan, big pro dot swoosh, all that, because of what it can do for the Web3 movement and what kind of, you know, use cases it literally provides to Wall Street and everyone else who pays attention to Nike, which is a lot of people. Bullish, excited, excited and bullish, bullishly excited. I don't know what the right term is, but this is like the building blocks falling into place to actually like build out this future that we've talked about for so long. But yeah, Monolith 2, Monolith 1 opening date, that's coming up, Rise. You're right. That's like, I thought it was 421, but it could be 422.
I think you might be right. I'm in Australia, and it was one of those days for me, so it might be different for you guys.
Yeah, it was one of those days for me too. Huh? But it was a vibe. Like, I still remember opening that thing and like seeing what was in it, and when they were dropping all those tweets, that was exciting stuff. And it's like, I would love to see Monolith X do something that day, but I am holding out no hope.
Yeah. All those I just remember just like opening mine and then getting like a couple of humans, and then going on Twitter and everyone's just flexing their Murakami vials and their alien and undeads, and I'm just like, man, come on. Like, every second post is literally just people flexing. It was a rough day, but it was fun.
It was a fun, rough day. I also pulled human. I also saw all those tweets, but it was part of the experience, and you know, hopefully I learned something from that. Didn't. Just kidding. We'll see.
I think I just made a little bit of a mistake. I was checking out the Evo X vial prices, and I saw like a bunch of demons, like half the price of angels. So I swept them, and then I just looked back and realized that now there are only 3 demons for sale. So we might be in trouble. Got them at like all under 0.2 though. So look, are they a liquid, or have I just doubled my money? I don't know.
Dude, what matters is that when those things start to blend and you can combine them, and then you're still sitting on X amount of pure demon vials from 2022, that's the time when it's more relevant as to what, like, when they have a use case, once they're doing something. I think until then, they probably chill for a while, but I have no concept on that. I know that I'm excited about what they do, and the Evo X tech is like probably the coolest thing. Yeah, definitely the coolest thing that they've launched, in my opinion. Um, I should say teased, because they told us about it, but they haven't actually launched it. But like, all of those Crypto Kick skins from that hype video that got everyone so excited about the monolith, like, none of that has really made any progress either. And it's like the Our Force One, the dot swoosh effort, that kind of has those same vibes, that has the same feel to it. So I feel like the Our Force One, the dot swoosh marketplace, could only be a benefit to hopefully be Artifact's push into Evo X, Crypto Dunk Genesis, that little robot thing that we saw transform, um, styling Animus, creating inventory, giving us a world to play around in. Like those things, I think they're coming. They're definitely coming. It's just probably a massive effort to set them up.
Yeah, I definitely reckon like we should have known when they were teasing the evolutive skins that it wasn't gonna be quick, and if it was quick, it wasn't gonna be good. But hopefully they've been. Well, I know the team's been putting in effort behind the scenes, like they always do. So hopefully inventory, then some dunk updates. It's kind of sickening looking at my profile because I didn't realize how many Evo X files I've picked up over the past year. I've got 29 now, so big bet on the dunks.
Man, you went all in. Like, it's funny because I've been waiting for. I was waiting for the demon vials to drop. So, I kept looking at them at 0.3. I'm like, nah, that's not low enough. They can go lower. And I'm assuming when it did drop finally below that 0.3, you came in and swooped and got them all. So now the only one that I'm looking at is back at 0.3, which I'm not super pumped about. So now I know who to direct the blame towards.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, man. Yeah, well, I thought I got all of them, and then I checked back, refreshed the page, and there were like 3 sitting at 0.16, and I was like, fuck it, if I'm gonna buy 8, I'm gonna buy 3 more.
Yeah, I guess I was, I was too optimistic. It's one of those things, right? Like when prices are dropping, like you're like, yeah, it's gonna go lower. It's gonna go lower. And then it hits your point and you're like, yeah, it's gonna go lower. And then somebody is like, nah, we're not playing this game anymore.
I'll give you one a cost if you want.
I might take you up on that, but
Yeah,
then kind of,
if you're ever feeling.
I might when the time is right. Right now, I'm kind of like trying to figure out what I want to do about these clone prices. If I'm being honest, feel like this is a good time, but also I don't want to spend the ETH. So
Yeah, that's
I haven't
fair.
quite figured that out yet. I feel like I want stuff, but I don't want to spend the money. So I don't know how that's gonna work.
I'm a kind of inflection point where like clones are like I bought a clone the other day, and then I kind of thought about it, and I thought like if we're looking at like price go up and trying to get more stuff and more clones in the future, then like the side quests are like I guess they're like a leverage bet on them, and it's probably a lot easier for like a violet 0.03 to go to 0.06 than it is for a clone to go from 2.5 to 5, I guess. But it's a risky bet, especially with absolutely no idea on news incoming. But I've been waiting so long, I just gotta keep buying.
Yeah, it's one of those things that conviction is there, right? So that's what I'm like. I don't know. Like I look at That's why honestly, this is like degen talk, but this is honestly why I want a third clone because I'm not. And whenever I do get one, it's like it's not that I'm expecting anything this very second. I just see the long term value that these clones have and will have. When you think about expressing yourself in the metaverse and whether you use it for to represent you or to augment your brand or simply want to create, um, and we see the gaming side of it coming along too. So I think there's gonna be so much like use cases for these that, right now maybe are not as obvious for most people, that now is really the time to buy. And even as a collector, right? Like some of the grails that I'm seeing right now, like a year ago, could have never dreamed of seeing them anywhere near what they're selling right now. I mean, like literally right now, my dream clone beyond the one that I'm currently holding, that's the demon that I have. There's like the demon's like, I would say like my online identity, right? But from a collector's perspective and just like a drapey clone, like as an art piece or whatnot, the clone that I've been eyeing for forever is now up for sale, and I just can't get it because I don't have enough ETH. But also, I look at how much it's going for, and it's like I would have never dreamed of seeing it at that price before. So it's like opportunity, but you got to balance things out. So we'll see how it plays out. The side quests may eventually help get there, so we'll see how things work out. But it's
Yeah,
gonna be fun.
yeah. I'm in the same kind of thing where like, you see something like that's so cool. I would want that so badly, but I just don't have the ETH. And then if you end up getting enough ETH to buy that, like you're completely illiquid. You never want to let it go. And then if something else catches your attention, then you're like, oh damn, I really want that. You just have nothing to go for it. So I guess I'm like I'm in the same boat, trying to balance like buying, like letting the stuff I want go for now, and then like sending it into high conviction plays, and then picking up the stuff I want along the way.
It's so funny to me, guys, because usually I just crush floor talk right at the beginning. But it's like we're kind of at the end of the content that I wanted to get through, and no one else has requested, so I'm kind of just good with it. And it's interesting because I run into the same things. I think everyone in this space does to some extent, and that's where like we founded Clonespiracys and started this entire effort because like there's so much of a use case of a what these things can be that's beyond a floor price, for instance, or beyond the economic side, the supply, the demand. It's what can we actually do with these digital collectibles? What can they become? How can they synergize with each other? What things could they unlock or lead to? Because like we just saw earlier tonight, we saw the history of Artifact, all of those different drops. We know what all of those led to, which at the time that probably felt random as hell, like Fewocious, Doge slippers, Eiffel Towers, hoverboards. It's like, what are these guys doing? And then it's, oh, hey, there's these mint passes to get these clones. And oh, here's a bird. If you have a bird, you get 3 clones. Oh, what's a clone? Oh, it's 3 ETH Dutch auction. Oh my God. And then meta pigeons are selling at 15 ETH. It's like the economic side of this thing, it can be analyzed and hype driven and used and manipulated or supply and demanded, whatever. But like the what they actually do, what the use is of these assets, that is something that it can't really be changed by community sentiment unless the team decides to listen to the ecosystem and what we're asking for, which I believe they did on Monolith 1. It was, what do we want? And it's like, we want a really cool sneaker that's customizable, that has DNA related traits. Okay, yeah, check out Evo X. It's going to revolutionize the sneaker industry. Oh my God, it's fantastic. And it's like that was exactly what we wanted. That's what we asked for months of questing, was a shoe. And then they gave it to us, and the community boosted it. That is the power of an ecosystem, and having 10,000 holders ready and excited about whatever it is we will talk about it. And it's like we don't typically talk floors here because it's something that can be used or abused or marketplace PvP'd or whatever. And it's like, instead, it's like, what do the Evo X skin vials do? Oh, they revolutionize sneakers because the Dunk Genesis are confirmed forgeable, by the way. And that, like, there are thousands of different designs on a single shoe because you can update it at the change of an app, is the theory on it. the Clonespiracy, and like that's cool. That's so much cooler to me about what these things can be and how they can, what it can become. And it's like we have Remova, we have season one, we have Animus. I'm just trying to think of other verticals, the Pod X, the Exodus, and it's like there's an entire contract on Exodus, like a burn mechanic, an incubation, hibernation contract that like if anyone's good at code, like read through that, let us know. I'd love to talk about that. It's just like the people that were excited about that stuff back in December, back in November, Eggvember, which I will never forgive, and Clonetober, more trick than treat. But it's like the people that were excited about that stuff, they're no longer active because they're no longer excited and they no longer care about what it is behind it, probably because of the sentiment regarding floor price. And it's like those things are connected to an extent, but I just think that there's so much beyond it. What up, Tevy?
I was gonna say I was excited back then. I'm still super excited about all of it. That whole, yeah, it doesn't really matter to me, honestly. Like I'm still super bullish about eggs, everything that comes along with it. Um, I think the future is bright, bright. Um, and and the only thing I would add to that is like I'm not even like I said, it wasn't so much like floor price, right? But more like recognizing that there's opportunity everywhere right now. And you know, people can choose to take advantage of it or not. And the challenge that I have personally is I want to take advantage of it, but I cannot without being a complete degen and doing something I'm not supposed to do. So that's my problem. But no, like super excited. Honestly, like the whole the yeah, did the hype down some? Did the hype die a little bit? Yeah, absolutely. Because you know, there's a half a year at this point that has gone between when you know eggs were teased and when we're gonna get stuff, but that was to be expected to some extent. But the Evo X stuff, like that's the one I'm like, man, come on. We yes, we knew it was gonna be long, but I think we're coming up on a year now, and there's no news. So I'm still holding hope, right? Like that at the end of the month here, heading into the summer, we're gonna excuse me, we're gonna get more news on some of that stuff, especially with inventory should be coming up pretty soon. I think Jarlin and pretty soon is you know contextual. But Jarlin was saying that you know no I think he said something about no promise, no dates, but you know it's coming. So it is going to be a this year thing. You know when that rolls out, I think it's gonna be dependent on you know just how the cadence of you know the different product releases. But we know it's coming this year. We know they're working on it, and I think that ties it all together nicely. And we, you know, if we're getting digital shoes in in-game assets and things like that, I feel like the crypto kicks could be revived, right? And they could drop the digitally the mechanics around evolution, and then worry about the actual production of the physical shoes. You know, even if it's like a year, 2 years out, or you know, maybe not, hopefully not 2 years, but if it's like next year thing, because this is like latest tech that Nike has. And it's, I mean, it's, if you think about it, right, like you're putting potentially flexible screens on shoes and projecting things. Like that can be easy to do. Like that's gonna take some time to make happen, right? Because if you I feel like if they don't do it right and it's not like aesthetically pleasing the way they roll it out, it's just going to look childish and cheap, and you don't want that. And if they only focus on the AR piece and it's like static designs for each one of these crypto dunks, like for each DNA, again, same thing. It's not going to be as cool because it's like now it just looks like you're wearing, again, cheap shoes, which again is not pleasing. But if you have like a really cool digital screen and it's more of a showcase of the technology itself, and oh, by the way, you can augment this with evolutions based on and using AR technology to showcase it, then it becomes like, man, this is what the dreams are made out of, right? Like this is like next gen tech, and no one has that, and that's what we want. So I'm okay with them taking time, even though, deep down inside, I'm like, man, it's been a year. I would love to hear something. Like, give me something, even if that something is like an announcement of an announcement. I'm good with it. I just want something.
I agree. I really want anything on Evo X, and I don't know if they're just waiting for their own marketplace because Broken Sea is too slow to update a crypto dunk when it has a vial attached. They had to just pause the whole thing because people are getting scammed. That could sadly be part of it, and they weren't able to get the marketplace out on time to have it be fast enough to react with equipables, which could have just been a problem that they learned about. Because like Animus, if you have things equipped to your Animus and you try and sell it, if you have traits equipped to a clone and you try and sell it, and then you just pull all the traits off of it before the sale goes through, it's like that's going to open up a nightmare of scams. And if that was a problem, they definitely had to pivot from that, and they couldn't literally tell us that that's what they were going to do, and they have to figure it out on the back end. Because like on the CloneX mint page, it literally says trait marketplace. Like that's what we all minted, and if you got to deliver on the mint promise. And I think it's been quiet for a long time for obvious reasons, but I think once there's faster marketplaces, better transaction speeds, maybe safer places to transact, this could all become freaking cool in like ways that nobody, I should say, very few understand. And I think we are definitely some of the few. So I'm still for it personally.
Yeah,
100.
I'm just excited because, I mean, I pulled an undead vial, and out of all of the dunks, crypto dunks, the undead was the design that spoke to me the most, and that's the one that I really wanted. Like, yeah, there's like the demons are cool. I really like the alien, looks cool too. But like the black and white with the bones and everything, that's I would wear that all day, and it's like it would match and go well with just about everything. So when I pulled that, I was like, yes, let's go. Like, give me some news. Like, I want some news now. But that's okay. I'll hold on to the vial. I'll wait. And yeah, I'm just excited. But if I know we had speculated that Animus, potentially you can equip your Animus with the vials. Just looking at the Murakami one, that with the vial slots in its arm, if you can use the vials and somehow inject DNA into the Animus, with those, like, how cool would that be? Like, if that's why they've been waiting, and it's like it's the whole tie-in into Animus, man, like, things are about to blow up in a way that we cannot even fathom. So, I mean, if that's what happens, the wait would have been well worth it. Like, and I, not financial advice, and again, this is conspiracy, but I think this is where this is all building to, is like these vials are gonna play into Animus in a major way, and will play into rarity. And yeah, I think the incubation and hibernation features are probably slept on right now with like what that will introduce. So that's my last bit of conspiracy.
I think I need more vials. I've got to jump off. Thanks for hosting this space, and thanks for chatting with me. It's awesome getting your insights and opinions. Hopefully, I'll catch you guys around.
Yeah, appreciate you stopping by, Rise. Take it easy, man. Check out Dat Swoosh. Good luck on the airdrops tomorrow. Everybody, I think that's all the conspiracy. I got my phone's at 10% too. I can charge it. We can keep going. But I think now is probably a proper time to rest up, recover. I think we'll wind this space down. Thanks everyone for coming through. Prez, appreciate you streaming. Appreciate the Loot Pod use for the squad. Tevi, thanks for jumping up. Everyone, thanks for listening. Have a great evening. Be excited because these are exciting times that we are participating within. You can't tell right now, but I've been excited all day, and I'm still very excited. And once I rug this space, we're going to continue to be really, 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 really excited.